Tonight, two teens stabbed at Mooney's Bay and the search for suspects.
He received a very egregious and a life-threatening injury that could have taken his life.
What we know about this weekend's chaotic scene and the latest from Ottawa Police. Some of Ottawa's brightest young business minds put their work on full display.
To have activities together so we don't spend time on the screens all the time.
We introduce you to the capital's youngest entrepreneurs at a special event highlighting their work. Plus, honoring veterans from the Battle of the Atlantic.
That's all I can say. I'm a proud veteran of the Canadian Navy.
A special annual event in Almont, keeping the memory of Canadian war heroes alive. Good evening. We begin tonight with a violent scene just steps from where families were enjoying a beautiful spring evening in Mooney's Bay Park. A young man and a teenage girl both stabbed last night, and police are now searching for suspects. CTV's Natalie Van Rooy is live with the very latest from Mooney's Bay. Natalie.
Austin police tell CTV News that this all started with an altercation amongst a large group of people last night, and then that led to the stabbing. Now, police, as you can see behind me, are still on scene. They've been on scene all day and have cordoned off several areas of Mooney's Bay Park. There's been no arrests as of yet, but investigators say they expect to make an arrest soon. Ottawa police officers canvassed Mooney's Bay Park Saturday for a weapon or other pieces of evidence after two teenagers were stabbed here.
The video evidence is very clear, excellent video footage that demonstrates the escalation that led up to the actual stabbing. Very clear video of the suspects.
Both victims were taken to hospital. A 16-year-old girl in stable condition with minor lacerations and an 18-year-old man in critical condition.
He received a very egregious and a life-threatening injury that could have taken his life. And he's very lucky to be alive.
The stabbing happened shortly before 9 p.m. when the park was busy with young families and people enjoying the spring weather.
We were over there and we were just walking here. Then we were just...
Tommy Ransom and Bernard Lee were not far from where the stabbing took place.
We were just here enjoying the park at a basketball game, and there was a lot of commotion, lots of ruckus going on, and we just seen lots of running. So we were on our way to a basketball game when it all happened, to be honest.
It looked very crazy. Like, it did not look like a fun time. There were a couple of kids over here with coverings on their face. It looked a little bit up to rowdiness.
Neither of them realized exactly what was happening until the next day.
We went to go park over there, and we seen the police, so we searched up what happened at the beach, and they said that there were two people stabbed over here.
Police tape cordoned off a large area of the park all day Sunday, blocking the parking lot and different areas of Mooney's Bay.
Members that are out here conducting a very methodical search of the area in the hopes of finding potential evidence that may further their investigative process.
The scene unsettling for young families.
Sounds scary. I didn't know anything about it. We wanted to come to the park, and so unfortunately we won't be able to go in.
It's a very sad story, and it's such a shame that we would hear about that happening over here where all our families love to play.
And the stabbing investigation also led to the cancellation of the MS Walk, which was supposed to take part around Mooney's Bay today. But organizers say that donations are still being accepted. Austin.
Okay, CTV's Natalie Van Rooy reporting live for us tonight. Natalie, thank you very much for this. A 77-year-old man from Prince Edward County is dead after he was hit by a motorcycle last night. Ontario Provincial Police say the incident happened at the intersection of County Road 17 and Miller Road at around 8 o'clock last night. A man was transported to hospital where he later died, while the motorcycle rider suffered minor injuries. An investigation into what led to this collision is now underway. And Ontario Provincial Police say a 24-year-old man from Brampton is dead after his canoe capsized on Upper Rideau Lake near Westport. That's about 50 kilometers south of Smiths Falls. Police say they were called to the scene shortly after 5:30 yesterday afternoon, adding The man was not wearing a life jacket. He was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact OPP. And the Ottawa Police Service, they are asking for the public's help to find a missing paddleboarder. Police say 38-year-old Robson Florentino was last seen entering the Ottawa River at around 5:30 yesterday afternoon from the Gatineau side, across from Andrew Hayden Park. And there are concerns about his well-being. Florentino was described as a Hispanic male with brown hair, about 5'7" with a muscular build. He was wearing red shorts and a baseball hat. Anyone with information is asked to contact Ottawa Police. Well, flames ripped through a house just north of Cars this afternoon.
Oh my God.
Fire crews battling the blaze for nearly 2 hours this morning into the afternoon. Emergency crews were called to the home on Rideau Valley Drive North at around 11:40 a.m. to find thick black smoke and flames coming from the top of the home. Our cameras also spotted an excavator there later this afternoon, bringing down the structure. Now, there are no hydrants in the area, so water was shuttled in. No injuries have been reported. This is the second home impacted by fire in the area in less than a week. Time now to take our first look at the weather forecast, and a pretty typical day here in Ottawa. Some cloud coverage earlier in the day, and then the sun finally made an appearance. Right now it's 19 degrees. We still do have a chance of showers. We reached a daily high of 20 degrees today. We're expecting a low of 7 this evening with some cloud coverage continuing. Again, off and on in parts of the region. 9 is the low tonight in Kingston, 8 in Trenton, and 5 in Bancroft. Tonight's low in Gatineau, 8 degrees. 9 in Montreal, 5 in Tremblant. Warming up tomorrow to a daytime high of 22 degrees. There is a chance of more showers, and as you can see, potential for a thunderstorm here in the capital as well. As Brockville, 21 degrees is the high expected there. 22 in Gatineau, 21 in Petawawa. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for an emergency debate on Parliament Hill this week to address the recession he says the Liberals have caused. CTV's Jeremy Charon with the latest.
In a Sunday morning letter to the Prime Minister, a push from Pierre Poilievre for Mark Carney to answer for the state of Canada's economy. Calling for an emergency debate in Parliament over the issue. You promised you would deliver the fastest growing economy in the G7. You delivered the only recession in the G7, wrote Poilievre.
This is a full-blown Liberal recession.
A Friday report from Statistics Canada showed the country's economy contracted slightly for a second straight quarter, meeting the technical definition of a recession. Poilievre lays the blame on the government.
This is people's lives. Behind these statistics are empty stomachs, empty fridges, and empty bank accounts.
We asked people in Ottawa what they think and what or who they blamed for it.
I do feel like times are tough.
It feels like a standstill, and a lot of people that you talk to, they feel like they're never getting ahead.
Are we really in this session as a result of factors that were the last 2-3 years, or is this a reflection of the current government?
Some economists poured cold water on the recession talk, arguing the declines are marginal and don't indicate a widespread downturn.
Economists tend to be very careful around using the word recession. The truth is that the economy is not in good shape. Through most of 2025, we struggled up and down.
But most are clear the country's economy is struggling to gain traction, and that can't be ignored.
We need to deal with this. The difficulty is that certain parts of the country are struggling, while other parts of the country really are faring quite well.
In a statement to CTV News, the finance minister's office called Poilievre's letter political theater, chalking up the downturn to external factors like the U.S. trade war and pointing to efforts to build new global relationships and attract major investment here at home. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
And uncertainty in Canada's economic future may be leading to companies pulling back on hiring to fill summer jobs this season. And that means an exhausting and frustrating search for work for a lot of teens and young adults. CTV's Camille Karamali has the numbers behind Canada's growing youth unemployment rate.
I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
This has been Tyrese Phillips' reality for the past 3 years.
KJ, I'm Ty.
Nice to meet you. On the job hunt, store after store, handing him rejection after rejection.
In store, you don't hear nothing. Nobody gives you a call. Nobody gives you an email. It is a battle. It's a battle to even want to continue trying.
Now, new data shows the number of youth between the ages of 15 and 24 without a job has been on the rise in Canada. 3 years ago, the youth unemployment rate was just over 9%. Now, in April of this year, it's over 14%.
They're struggling to get that first job, that first foot in the door of the work market.
High interest rates and economic uncertainty related to the trade war with the U.S. has meant companies are taking fewer risks. Long-term business investments in Canada has dropped for a 5th straight quarter, says Canada's data agency. Companies instead going with hiring freezes or looking for more experienced workers, or even worse.
Right now, our members are looking to lay off more staff than they are looking to hire.
Rapid population growth over the past few years has increased competition for entry-level jobs, but that is likely to change.
We are going to see some progress for Canadian youth over the coming year as the temporary foreign worker program rolls back. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen instantly. It is going to take many more months.
So experts instead with this advice.
Work your networks. See who you know and see who might be hiring.
I was just wondering if
For Tyrese Phillips, he certainly plans to.
keep your head high. You just have to look into the future and just imagine something for yourself.
Hoping this summer is the one where he can finally bring home
Have a good day.
a paycheck. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada Post workers are wrapping up voting on a new tentative deal with their employer after more than 2 years of a labor dispute. About 55,000 postal workers began voting in April on a 5-year contract, which includes wage hikes of 6.5% and 3% in the first 2 years. The Crown Corporation recently posted a loss of more than $200 million in just the first 3 months of this year. The Workers' Union is expected to release results on that vote tomorrow. Well, efforts to reach a peace deal with Iran remain unsolved. The latest memorandum of understanding still needs Donald Trump's approval, but Iran's top negotiator is laying out new conditions. Iranian state media is reporting that Mohammad Khalibaf says no deal with the U.S. will go ahead unless Iran's rights are guaranteed. This comes as Tehran has hardened its position with the country's top negotiator and parliament speaker, saying Iran will, quote, judge any deal by concrete results. The comments highlight the continued mistrust between the two sides, even as diplomatic talks continue in an effort to avoid another escalation in the conflict. Well, the World Cup is just 2 weeks away, but this was a big weekend for soccer fans, especially supporters of a particular European powerhouse. Fans of Paris Saint-Germain erupted into cheers and screams the moment their team beat Arsenal on penalties to win the Champions League. It's the second year in a row PSG has claimed the Champions League trophy. But those sounds of victory and cheers quickly turned into police sirens as celebrations in Paris devolved into riots. Rowdy fans set fires in the streets and clashed with police, who responded with tear gas. Officials say hundreds of people were arrested and more than 50 officers were injured. Well, turning now to a less intense competition here in the capital, a unique table tennis tournament is serving up something a little different this weekend. The Champlain Tennis Club, table tennis club that is hosting the Marty Supreme Cup, a playful nod to the film Marty Supreme, where traditional rules are relaxed and players of all skill are welcomed. CTV's Josh Marano joins us now with more on this. Josh.
Well, Austin, most table tennis tournaments are all about precision and performance, but the Marty Supreme Cup is designed to level the playing field with the goal of spreading the message that table tennis is fun and accessible. John DeCarl is preparing for a tournament where experience may not matter as much as usual.
I'm going to get my behind beat pretty badly here.
At Ottawa's newest table tennis venue in the South Keys Plaza, the Champlain Table Tennis Club is hosting the Marty Supreme Cup, putting a fun spin on traditional competition.
Back in the day, the sandpaper rackets were normally used, but you're talking 70, 80 years ago. What happened was the game was not entertaining enough, so they decided to try rubber. And of course, that sped the game up. It made it much more exciting.
Unlike the rubber rackets that many are accustomed to, which generate spin and speed, these old-school sandpaper paddles reduce those advantages, making rallies easier to control and competition more accessible.
It's like a fun concept where we play a tournament with, like, everybody hasn't used this style, of course, so it's new to everybody, and yeah, I guess we'll find out if we're good at it or not.
This is something that came out from the Marty Supreme movie. So we kind of like wanted to take it back in the days in the 30s, so how people played.
Players are guaranteed multiple matches before moving into a knockout round, giving everyone plenty of time at the table, all playing for this inaugural trophy and bragging rights.
I don't feel as nervous as usual because this is just like a tournament for fun. So it's just like a nice way to relax.
And for DeCarl, that's exactly what makes the tournament stand out. And he hopes new players will rally around the idea that anyone can join in.
We have tons of regular tournaments. It's very serious. People feel overwhelmed. They say that I'm not good enough. We bring this out. This is the leveler. This is the leveler. Everybody is almost playing the same.
And the tournament featured 15 players, some making their first appearance at the club, which opened its doors 9 months ago, becoming the second full-time table tennis facility in Ottawa. And organizers hope to make this tournament a yearly tradition. Austin.
Josh, I hear you were a little too scared to jump in there for a game. Is that right?
Not a table tennis player. I'm a watcher.
Okay, well, great report. Appreciate it, Josh. That's CTV's Josh Marano reporting live for us tonight. Well, dozens of children and youth, they showcase their very own business ideas today at the Ottawa Children's Business Fair. It's a big moment for these young entrepreneurs as they learn how to manage a business and earn a profit. CTV's Camille Wilson joins us live in studio to tell us all about it. Camille.
Austin, a room full of innovation, creation, and dedication. These young entrepreneurs are learning skills about the world of business. Some young creators putting their businesses in the spotlight while learning what it takes to make it in a competitive market.
I can give you a good deal on it.
Young business moguls stepping into the world of entrepreneurship.
These are tiny positive pals, so you can put them on your bedside and it helps you sleep and relax. This one says, I may be a tiny duck, but I believe in you. Go do your thing.
Creating handmade crochet products and pottery pieces, Alicia Liu is one of the nearly 60 young business people at the Ottawa Children's Business Fair.
Love that spirit of entrepreneurship, and the younger you start, the more you learn and the more successful you can be.
These friends honing their creative skills.
We make handmade art out of all the techniques we learn in art class, like acrylic paint, sketching, using colored pencils, and we create different things.
Ranging from ages 4 to 18, these young minds learning about the value of money, time, and effort.
First, I think about the cost of my piece, so how much it took me to make it, and then I add like my work for some money for myself, and then that gives me like the final cost.
Count the costing of what it took you to make your products and then sell it so you get profit, and then also just keeping track of everything that you're using.
A wide variety, food, crafts, jewelry, and clothes, as well as a youth author.
But they're all nice. This one's the most popular one though. One is $15, 2 is $25. Is 35.
Event organizers say it's all about learning how to handle all parts of a business, managing cost and financial strategy.
Usually people will borrow from their parents and then pay them back afterwards to have a better way of managing that. I know some people fundraise.
These young siblings won the Best Financial Awareness Award.
Because we borrowed money from our mom to start the company, and then we paid it all back from our last 2 sales.
But the motive behind the start, much bigger.
To have activities together so we don't spend time on the screens all the time.
And the best takeaway from being a young entrepreneur?
You have to be really confident. You have to really know your stuff.
From developing a brand, creating a product or service, this event encouraging youth to discover new business pathways while managing and learning financial awareness. Austin.
Yeah, some bright futures in that room, Camille, that's for sure. CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. Still to come, keeping the memory of Canadian war heroes alive. CTV's Kimberly Johnson has more from an annual ceremony in Almont when we come back. First, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It's 19 degrees. As more and more Second World War veterans sadly pass away, it's becoming more important than ever to remember those who fought in major campaigns, like the Battle of the Atlantic. Today in Almont, an annual event kept the memory of that fateful battle alive, and as CTV's Kimberly Johnson reports, the town took time to honor a local hero.
The sound of a bell, with each ring marking a ship lost in the Battle of the Atlantic. A moment to honor those who defended the North Atlantic during the Second World War.
We should never forget that the suffering and the atrocities that happened and the brave men and women that were there.
The Royal Canadian Navy gave to the struggle over 2,000 dead and many warships.
The event held by the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 240 outside Almont's Old Town Hall to mark the Battle of the Atlantic, which would become the longest continuous military campaign of the war, spanning from 1939 to 1945.
That's all I can say. I'm a proud veteran of the Canadian Navy.
Retired Commander John Chance served in the campaign and is one of the last surviving veterans in Canada. His work and sacrifice being honored here. The 102-year-old veteran says he thinks of his family, who all returned home.
Well, those days were the same as my twin brother had and my older brother had. We, all three brothers in the family, we all served. You know, it was a great honor to be in the military during the war.
The Battle of the Atlantic has ties to many of the families in this community and to many of the military families who are living here in our community now. And it's important to remember those who served and those who are currently serving.
More than 4,000 Canadians died in the battle. This annual service, a tradition to ensure generations to come understand the sacrifice of so many Canadian veterans.
My father served for many years of the war in the Battle of the Atlantic, and he was fortunate enough to come home, but paying tribute to those who did not.
And to see the community show up for our military again and again is truly an honor and a very special time.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
An emotional ceremony for sure, and a pretty nice day for it as well. It was a little bit cloudy, but still pretty nice. Here's a look at Pink Lake out in Gatineau Park. A beautiful day to be out there. Families enjoying their Sunday, walking around the water, and look at those trees as well. Beautiful shades of green all around Pink Lake. Quite busy there today, and the birds are loving it too. So this is what we like to see for our spring. Usually we're around 20 degrees this time of year as the average high, and that's exactly where we were today. So again, a typical spring day here in Ottawa, some cloud coverage, but not too bad, and it has passed over us. Charlottetown sitting at 7 degrees. It's 14 out in Fredericton and 7 with some showers in Halifax. We have warmed up a little bit now, saying that we're sitting at 21 degrees. While Toronto sits at 23 and Quebec City at 13 degrees. Beautiful sunny day in Windsor as well at 23 degrees. It's a scorcher in Winnipeg, 30 degrees there, despite the fact that they have a mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloudy conditions there. Real stark contrast from what they're feeling in Calgary, 4 degrees and rain. Not much better in Edmonton, 7 degrees, and it's wet there too. A nice day in Vancouver, sunny, mostly sunny, and 19 degrees. This evening, we do have a chance of showers, potential for a thunderstorm rolling into tomorrow afternoon. The low tonight, 7 degrees, and then the high at around 22 for tomorrow. 21 in the Ottawa Valley for tomorrow afternoon, and that same chance of rain. Wind will be dying down quite a bit, so that's what a lot of people will be liking to see, especially after how windy it was on Friday. Knocked out power to a lot of areas in central and eastern Ontario, Bancroft included, with those wind speeds on Friday. And we know that Hydro One's still working to restore power to some customers. Monday, 22 degrees, as you see there, 23 on Tuesday, 25 on Wednesday, and a really warm day on Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud at 29 degrees. Well, Newfoundland and Labrador has become the latest province to declare intimate partner violence or gender-based violence an epidemic. It's now moved to establish a task force that will report to government on how to make big changes. Helping to lead the way are some survivors with first-hand knowledge. CTV's Garrett Berry has that story.
Horrifying memories, more than a decade old, still creep in for Georgina McGraw.
I actually still sleep with the window open at my house because I can still feel his hands around my neck sometimes.
It's been years since she went public as a survivor of domestic violence.
2014, September the 25th of that year was my last beating. And that night was not just a beating. I also tried to take my own life that night.
She says she's lucky to be alive, but now, powered by her family, McGraw is committed to speaking up, making changes. And this week, she was added to a new task force tackling gender-based violence in Newfoundland and Labrador now that the province has declared it an epidemic.
McGraw's inclusion on the task force is a bit of a victory for advocates and nonprofit groups in this province because they have been calling for the voices of survivors to take center stage.
I hope that it creates a more serious take on this issue, and really hoping that different portfolios and departments are going to come together to take action.
Newfoundland and Labrador's declaration of an epidemic mirrors one in Nova Scotia in 2024. It was an important gesture, says one Nova Scotian advocate, who said it also creates a moment of opportunity to bring new voices into the conversation.
You know, nurses, police, firefighters, all general, like folks that bus drivers, people interact with the issue of gender-based violence all the time. And those folks need education and understanding and language to talk about these issues as well.
McGraw's also been working on the legislative level, working to pass a bill, Georgina's Law, that would force the federal government to publish reports every 2 years on the progress they've made fighting intimate partner violence. That bill was just introduced in the House of Commons after passing through the Senate.
It's incredible when a victim reaches out to me and thanks me that they've gotten out or that they've gotten resources.
Garrett Barry, CTV News, St. John's.
Timoteo's delivery, it's going to go over.
Coming up, we'll have a recap of some Canadian Premier League action between Atletico Ottawa and Pacific FC, plus more of what you need to know. A new study from the University of Montreal found that illegal plant trade is gaining ground in Quebec. Buyers looking for a deal are ordering plants online and sometimes violating Canada's rules. CTV's Denise Roberts has more.
At Serre-Lavoie in Laval, succulents and cacti are big sellers, beautiful and diverse. They're also the ultimate low-maintenance plant, according to Jérémy Bélanger.
They're pretty trendy right now, so people want a small plant that is easy to take care of.
Importing these plants is labor-intensive. Bélanger's job is to get the permits required.
It requires 2 to 3 permits to bring these plants into Canada.
It's not only to protect Canada's biodiversity from foreign pests, but to ensure plants aren't being taken from the wild by poachers.
So all of these plants come from mostly South America, Central America, and South Africa.
It can take decades for some of these plants to fully mature, and it's one of the reasons why the black market is growing. Bélanger says if you see a large plant for a low price, it's likely been poached.
Some plants can take up to 100 years old to be just my size.
Price and variety are what's driving buyers online, according to a new study from the Université de Montréal.
Plants are really available on common platforms such as eBay or Etsy, so it's really easy to access.
Léanne Vincendon, a plant lover herself, interviewed buyers of illegal succulents and found most knowingly flouted the law. What's more, she says, many did it even though it went against their environmental values.
Consumers use many justifications. For example, they may say that everyone does it, that the authorities make it difficult to obtain the permit.
She says there's no real deterrent against buying illegal plants. Online platforms don't require sellers to have permits, and buyers are willing to take a chance that their package will make it through customs. Data from Interpol show worldwide illegal trade in plants has skyrocketed. And Environment and Climate Change Canada confirms in the last 5 years, 655 protected plant species were seized, most of which were cacti or succulents. While it may seem like an innocent crime, Ultimately, Vincent says it causes environmental harm.
The demand for certain species can, at the other hand of the supply chain, stimulate poaching and illegal harvesting.
Knowing where your plants have come from and how they've been harvested is a good way to keep these species flourishing, even if it takes more time and money. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
Time now for details on some other stories you need to know right now. It was from bad to worse for Canada at the men's IIHF World Hockey Championship in Switzerland. After going undefeated in the preliminary action, the round-robin play, the Canadians had to settle for a chance at bronze this morning against Norway, but...
Norway, Steen along with Huron. Steen works in, shoots, goal! Overtime winner!
The Norwegians with a stunning performance taking down the powerhouse Canadians in overtime. Norway had a 2-0 lead in this one until late in the third period when Canada would mount a comeback to force overtime. But it was no Steen for Norway in the extra frame to clinch the nation's first ever medal at a top division IIHF tournament. And this game also marks one of the biggest upsets in international hockey history. Finland would go on to win the gold medal. They took down Switzerland 1-0 in overtime.
The stutter, the right-footed strike, finds the twine.
Late drama and late-game heroics for Atletico Ottawa last night, down 2-0, but Balou Tabla in the 10th minute of stoppage time silences the crowd to even the score. Ottawa claws back in this one for a 2-2 draw against Victoria's Pacific FC. Atletico will now head north for their game against Vancouver FC. That goes on Friday.
There will be a new champion in the NBA. A new era has dawned. It's Wemby's West. The Spurs are going to the NBA Final.
And the stage is set for the top prize in basketball. The San Antonio Spurs beating OKC Thunder last night in Game 7 to punch their ticket to the NBA Final, where they will take on the New York Knicks. Game 1 tips off Wednesday night at 8:30. It was a celebration of tattoo culture and custom motorcycles taking over the Aberdeen Pavilion at Lansdowne today for the Ink and Wheels Big Show. The 3-day event wrapped up today after bringing together more than 500 exhibitors, including tattoo artists, motorcycle builders, and creators from across Canada and beyond. And we are down to the final stretch of Ottawa Rib Fest on Spark Street. This event wrapping up tonight at 8 o'clock. It is free to attend. So if you don't have dinner plans, you might want to consider this. It features a wide selection of delicious award-winning ribs.
This isn't where I want to be. I didn't ask to be here. But like I said, it could happen to anybody.
After the break, we revisit the story of an Ottawa family living in a tent in the woods, highlighting what advocates call hidden homelessness. The city's shelter system remains under pressure.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe,
where foodies love their sweets
and markets bursting with flavor,
wrapped up in waterways
and hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past,
where people come together.
Always proud,
often loud,
and positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
In case you missed it this week, an Ottawa mother is sharing her story after she and her 2 teenagers and adult son found themselves living in a tent in the woods, highlighting what advocates call hidden homelessness. CTV's Caitlin Wilson explains.
Piece by piece, Amy Ayers is taking down the place her family has briefly called home. For the past few weeks, she's been living in this tent with her 3 kids, their dog and cat, tucked inside a forest in a conservation area owned by the City of Ottawa, but now a way out.
We have a friend who had reached out, and we're staying there for now, and they're going to help us to get to where we need to be.
She says the hardest part has been trying to keep her family together while running out of places that would take all of them, including their pets.
They either didn't have anywhere that would accommodate us all as a whole, or there was no room.
She says it wasn't just one thing that led them here. After the pandemic, Ayres left her job as a personal support worker for mental health reasons and now relies on social assistance. She says her oldest son works a full-time fast food job, but even with their combined income, it's still not enough to afford rent.
Everything became like a snowball, and you're Ontario worse, you're kind of like labeled, so you're kind of like skipped over or told, oh, I'm sorry, and they move on to the next.
Her story comes as the city shelter system remains under pressure and the number of households waiting for subsidized housing continues to grow, reaching more than 16,000 at the end of last year, the average wait between 5 and 8 years.
You have families with children as the biggest group of people in our shelter system. We can absolutely be doing more than we are. And that's not on the city only. That is a national issue. That is a provincial issue. And we need those levels of government to step up.
And for Ayres, the first step to getting back on her feet is to find a permanent place of her own to call home.
This isn't where I want to be. I didn't ask to be here. But like I said, it could happen to anybody.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
It is a race against the clock in Georgetown, Ontario this weekend as competitors piece together jigsaw puzzles. CTV's Carol Charles caught up with some puzzle enthusiasts competing at the Canadian Championship.
3, 2, 1, puzzle. Most people think of puzzles as a quiet night at home, but here it's all about speed. Welcome to the world of speed puzzling, where competitors race against the clock to finish a jigsaw puzzle as fast as possible.
Woo! That's it.
Nicole Bertrand just finished her individual round of competition and is moving on to pair up with her partner, Debbie Hawkins. The duo are waiting for their team match. They flew in from BC to compete. The key to their success?
Deb is phenomenal at sorting and doing small projects. So she does that, and then I kind of look at the whole puzzle, and I put together the whole puzzle.
And if you want to win,
you got to have fast hands. Like, you have to keep moving.
Tables full of mixed up pieces, timers counting down, and teams locked in. Players say it's important to keep focus and have a game plan. Ontario native Alison Elgersma is ranked in the top 20 across Canada.
My personal strategy is I love to dump out all my pieces, flip them over, and start with the edge to kind of give myself a little bit of something to start with. Once I have that, then I love to pull a bright, big project that I can pull out of my pieces and get that underway.
First-time competitor Sherry Healy is a little nervous.
I am really excited, but also a little bit stressed, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do, but I'm really optimistic, and I'm hoping that I can complete the puzzle within the time.
What started as a family pastime is now turning into a competitive trend, with tournaments popping up across North America. Just over 900 competitors are on hand today. The event organized by the Canadian Jigsaw Puzzle Association.
It's not just about competition. It's not just about speed. It is about bringing everybody together around puzzles. And we also run social activities. This is for everybody. You can always find somebody to connect with in the puzzle community. We have kids who are 11 years old participating today, up to 80 years old, all walks of life, all jobs. It's a fantastic community.
The competition wraps up on Sunday. The public is invited to watch the action at the Mole Masters Sportsplex in Georgetown. Carol Charles, CTV News.
I could never imagine running across Canada with a prosthetic leg.
Up next, how a 20-year-old's personal journey propelled him to follow the path of Canadian legend Terry Fox. He is a cancer survivor making his way across the country one ride at a time. Inspired by Terry Fox, Quinn Strang has launched his own marathon of hope by hitchhiking from coast to coast. CTV's Sean Leathong has his story.
You'll see his thumb extended. Notice the bright propeller hat, and then the sign he's holding. Quinn Strang is hitchhiking across Canada to raise money for cancer research. but
I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen next.
Standing on the side of the road in Toronto, this journey has been long, not just on the road, but personally, as the 20-year-old has beaten cancer twice.
I was diagnosed when I was 15 with Ewing sarcoma, so I had a tumor in my left femur that spread throughout my body, my lungs and my lymph nodes, and I had about a 15% chance to live. I beat it, and then I relapsed again when I was 17, and I had to get a femur transplant.
His journey through cancer treatment was inspiration to take on this one, following in the footsteps of Terry Fox.
No nation or any group of any people in the world will ever be as united as Canada was when Terry Fox did his Marathon of Hope. And, you know, I could never imagine running across Canada with a prosthetic leg, but if I can stick out my thumb and that gets attention to a good cause, I'll do my own take on it.
This is day one. On May 17th, Strang stuck his feet in the Atlantic Ocean in St. John's, Newfoundland, and has spent the past 12 days meeting Canadians on his way west.
I have made it to Parliament here in Ottawa.
With a new story at every stop.
And I ended up getting blessed by a Buddhist monk in Ottawa, and I drove a Porsche through the countryside, and I had no clue that was going to happen.
Thea Alba and her partner found Quinn near Perth, Ontario, bringing him all the way to the GTA.
I don't think I would have done it on my own, but he was just this kid with like a sign, and I like when I saw what he was doing, I was like, I have to help out in some way.
And help out Canadians have. Quinn Strang's GoFundMe page has already raised over $40,000.
My goal is to raise $100,000. That is $1 for everybody from the city of Moncton.
But while it can be hard to be picked up as a hitchhiker, Quinn hopes his appearance can be disarming.
I feel like people will be more outgoing and trustworthy of some idiot kid wearing a propeller hat. Hey there, where are you guys heading?
He has each new driver autograph his sign. The goal is to make it to Victoria, BC by June 15th before flying back to his job as a lifeguard in Moncton. From now until then,
you meet these amazing people and all these amazing stories happen, and you just never know what's going to happen next.
Trusting that his thumb, his hat, and his sign will get him there. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
To the fans, I just want to say the most sincere thank you for everything this season. Thank you all, guys. You guys are
coming up as their season just ended, unfortunately short of hoisting the cup. The Ottawa Charge salute the fans. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is 19 degrees.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Take your weekend path. We've got the Bronco Sport for it.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
He received a very egregious and a life-threatening injury.
2 teens, an 18-year-old male and a 16-year-old girl stabbed at Mooney's Bay. Police now searching for suspects. A unique table tennis tournament offering competition for players of all skill levels at the all-new Marty Supreme Cup.
To get more experience with the entrepreneurial side of the world.
And young business minds come together for the Ottawa Children's Business Fair, giving kids and youth a chance to learn and grow their entrepreneurial skills. I'll take one last look at the weather forecast and your 7-day forecast as well. 11 degrees is what we're expecting to wake up to. A chance of showers and risk of a thunderstorm as well. Getting up to a daytime high of 22 degrees, warming up on Tuesday to 23, then again to 25 degrees on Wednesday. The hottest day of the next 7 will be on Thursday, 29 degrees. Is the expected high. Another warm one on Thursday and into the weekend, but the precipitation is expected to return on Friday and potentially linger throughout next weekend. Well, finally for us tonight, a special thank you to their fans from the Ottawa Charge.
To the fans, I just want to say the most sincere thank you for everything this season. Thank you all, guys. You guys are
It was a successful, albeit disappointing, end to the Ottawa Charge campaign, falling in the Walter Cup final for a second straight year. It will be even a bigger challenge to get back to the championship series next year. With the addition of 4 new teams, Detroit, Hamilton, Las Vegas, and San Jose, fans are already looking forward to next season. The puck drop for the 2026-27 campaign is expected in late November, but yes, obviously, the players are very happy to have the support they do here in Ottawa, and for good reason. That is an exciting, high-flying team, and we can't wait for them to come back next year. That is CTV News for this Sunday, May 31st. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great night.